Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. A federal high court in Abuja has ruled Charles Oka is not guilty of treason. Oka is the alleged mastermind of the 2009 Independence Day bombing. Following the incident, he was charged with terrorism and treason. On Thursday, Justice Gabriel Kolawole struck out the treason charge against Oka. In his ruling, the judge held that the defense failed to prove that former President Goodluck Jonathan, who was present at the Eagle Square at the time of the blast, was the main target. The judge, however, rejected the defense application of a no-case submission. The House of Representatives rejected a bill seeking the establishment of the Southeast Development Commission. The bill was rejected after a voice vote by Yakubu Dogara, who is the House Speaker. Some of the lawmakers who contributed to the debate said the timing of the bill was not right and adequate consultations were not made before it was brought to the lawmakers. After more than 2 months, the Nigerian Senate has finally confirmed a majority of the INEC resident electoral commissioners sent by President Muhammadu Buhari. Out of 27 nominees, the Senate confirmed 15 of them. The confirmation of the remaining 12 nominees was delayed following the failure of the Senate Committee on INEC to conduct their screening on time. Nigeria's Minister for Health Isaac Adewole has announced a ban on the sale of cigarettes to persons below the age of 18 in the country. This comes as the World Health Organization disclosed that over 4.5 million Nigerian adults are addicted to smoking tobacco substances. The minister also called for the immediate implementation and enforcement of key sections of the 2015 National Tobacco Control Act.
Having carefully analyzed the NTC Act 2015, I wish to announce with high sense of responsibility that government will begin implementing the following provisions before the end of the year. 1. Prohibition of the sale of tobacco products to and by anyone below age 18. 2. Ban of sale of cigarettes in single sticks. Cigarettes must be sold in packs of 20 sticks only. Smokeless tobacco shall be sold in a minimum of a pack of 30 grams. 4. Ban of sale or offer for sale or distribution of tobacco or tobacco products through mail, internet, or other online devices. 5. Prohibition of interference of tobacco industry in public health and related issues. 6. Prohibition of smoking in anywhere on the premises of a child care facility, educational facility, and healthcare facility. Other prohibited places for smoking include playgrounds, amusement parks, plazas, public parks, stadia, public transport, restaurants, bars, and other public gathering spaces. 7. Prosecution of owner or manager of any of the places listed above who permits, encourages, or fails to stop smoking in the above listed places. 8. Prohibition of tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship of any kind. 9. Compliance with specified standards for content as set out by Standards Organization of Nigeria.
On the issue of complete banning, currently there are some countries that went for elimination, particularly the European countries and also New Zealand. But I'm not aware that there are countries that completely ban. But as an objective, elimination is being targeted by some countries. Europe is one example. I think this is what I can add. But the FCC is about control, including what countries have taken already measures. I think the current legislation of Nigeria is a very good example in cutting down the use of tobacco.
The number of people who have died from meningitis in Nigeria has now risen to 1,144. Nigeria's Center for Disease Control says the northern part of the country is the most affected. The new figure represents an increase of 224 persons from the last death toll reported just over 2 weeks ago. So far, a total of over 14,000 suspected cases have been identified from 23 states and the Federal Capital Territory. There have also been 901 samples retested, with 423 confirmed positive cases. The United Nations is calling for more actions to curb the rising number of Nigerian refugees returning from Cameroon. UN's High Commissioner for Refugees says that more than 12,000 Nigerian refugees have returned from the Minawo camp in Cameroon. Their return was aided by an agreement signed by the governments of Nigeria and Cameroon for the voluntary repatriation of Nigerian refugees living in the country.
Well, the concerns are essentially that we have not communicated enough with the refugees on the conditions in areas to where they are returning, because it caught not only the humanitarian group by surprise, but even the government was caught by surprise. Banki, which is essentially where where they return to, is a town where the infrastructure and services are not yet capable of servicing so many people that have returned.
Those that are returning, like you have had, it's a spontaneous, movement, and quite a number are taking shelter in Banki. Like I said, I was there sometimes during the Easter, and the camp was still very okay receiving those that were returning. But it's a very small town, and it is at the axis where we still have some active activities of Boko Haram. And I think in the wisdom of the government of Borno State, they felt that we shouldn't be having Nigerian massing along that corridor. That could attract maybe elements of the Boko Haram to fuse among them, and thereby begin to do certain things that are criminal. And recently, the government is involved in moving quite a number that have converged there into other IDPs. In Borno, we have about at least 3 or 4 IDP camps. So maybe they are moving them into those camps so that the commencement of the tripartite program would now consider holistically how to deal with them, where to take them, how to provide the facilities, the funding, and things like that.
3 people suspected to be responsible for the kidnap of 6 students at a secondary school in Lagos State have been arrested. The incident occurred last Thursday morning at Igbonla Model College at Ekpe area of Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. Since then, the students are yet to be found by authorities. However, police say the kidnappers were arrested in Edo State. A Nigerian lawmaker identified as Garba Dobunde, abducted early Tuesday, has regained his freedom. Spokesperson of the House, Abdulrazak Namdas, confirmed this development on Wednesday evening. Dobunde is a member of Nigeria's House of Representatives. There was no detail of any ransom paid for his release. The Nigerian government wants the Empire Job Portal reopened. The government agencies have been ordered to ensure the portal is opened on June 17th. The Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says this will allow more Nigerians register for a new job program. That's the federal government's National Social Investment Program, NSIP. Nigeria's acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, is in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, for an official visit. He arrived at the Margaret Igbo International Airport, where he was received by the Cross River State Governor, Ben Ayadi. Osinbajo is expected to commission some projects embarked upon by the Cross River State government. A group in Nigeria is calling for the removal of Ibrahim Magoo as EFCC's chairman. Magoo has been acting as EFCC's chairman since November 2015 following the failure of the Nigerian Senate to confirm him as the authentic chairman of the group. The group says Magoo has overstayed his tenure as acting chairman and must be removed immediately.
The truth of the matter must be said. We are human rights activists here. We stand for justice. We stand for the right thing to be done. And we believe that the time to do it is now. What we are saying is that do not forget that the DSS has communicated in writing to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A report 2 times. They've communicated to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria reports indicting Ibrahim Magoo, and this consequently has made the Senate of the Federal Republic to refuse to confirm him. Now, are we saying that Magoo is above the law? The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides that you stay there in acting capacity for only 90 days. And here is a man who has, overstayed his welcome. He has exceeded the 90 days that is required for him to be there in acting capacity. And we are saying very clearly, upon researches conducted by our organization, both in Nigeria and abroad, that there are very clear indications that Mr. Magoo is unfit. Mr. Magoo plays to the gallery. Mr. Magoo collaborates with some social media, especially Sahara reporters, to indict some persons. We are saying, consequent to the report of the DSS, that Mr. Magoo is unfit. He lacks the capacity to steer the affairs of the EFCC.
Magoo is not the first and will he be the last EFCC leader. There has been Ribadu before him. Waziri was there. Lamad Ibrahim was there. Magoo has been there. He will leave and the EFCC will still remain. So let us not build this culture of impunity around him and say it's like he's above the law or he's above everybody. His time has expired, so he has to leave.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB has condemned the high rate of examination malpractice in the country. Ishak Oloyode, who is the board's registrar, says the agency is currently withholding over 80,000 results owing to various misdemeanors. More results would, however, be released once the board has cleared the candidates of any wrongdoing.
Concerning examination malpractice, the intensity is unbelievable. We have, yes, people, you can see the telephone, you can see somebody, look at these slippers, you can see somebody, and when you look at the slippers, you will see chemistry, A, B, D, and so on, that people give to them. Let me tell you, because some of you will have asked, how do they know A, B, C, D, and so on? What happened was that some of the CBT centers, particularly private CBT centers, some of them are not, they deliberately set up the CBT center for reasons other than examination. There are not in terms of number, but the intensity of examination malpractices. The connivance of parents. But before I go further into that, let me make it clear to everybody. There is no need to panic. If you belong to these 80,000 candidates, because 80,000 compared to 1.7, yes, it might be large when you talk of 80,000. Those who take JAMB or its equivalent in some countries in everywhere may not be up to 80,000. So it's because of our largeness that made 80,000 to be insignificant. It's a large number. We are not underplaying the fact. But for us, we want to thoroughly investigate what had happened.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
But that's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss. Rubbish.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Nigerian stocks jumped to an 11-month high. This was driven by gains in banking and cement shares as investors take advantage of low valuation of some commercial lenders' shares. The stock market index rose by 2.3% across 30,156 points, lifted by gains in First Bank Holdings and Dangote Cement. The Nigerian Senate says the country is losing $2.5 billion annually to gas flaring. Gas flaring contributes to air pollution, heat, rainforest damage, and climate change in the country. Chairman of the Nigerian Senate's Committee on Gas Resources, Senator Basi Albert Akpan, made this known at a public hearing on Gas Flaring Prohibition Bill 2015. He also noted that Nigeria has an estimated 188 billion cubic feet of proven natural reserve, making the country the 9th largest concentration in the world. Oil prices shared early gains on Thursday despite U.S. industry data showing a big drop in crude stocks last week. Investors still remain skeptical that OPEC-led cuts will be enough to rebalance an oversupplied market. Brent crude oil eased by 3 cents to $50.73 per barrel, while U.S. crude gained 14 cents to $48.46 per barrel. The contracts fell about 3% to 3-week lows on Wednesday, after news that an increase in Libyan oil production had helped to boost OPEC crude in May. Heavily armed attackers ambushed a military position near Niger's border with Mali, killing 6 members of Niger's security forces. The assault was carried out in the southwestern town of Albala on Wednesday evening by gunmen who arrived in 14 all-terrain vehicles. The motive for the attack is still unclear. Nigeria's Super Eagles have moved up 2 spots in the latest FIFA World Rankings. Now the Eagles are currently in 38th position, moving up from their 40th position recorded last month. Their next competitive game is an African Cup of Nations qualifier against South Africa this month. Coach General has already unveiled a 21-man squad for that game. The Court of Arbitration for Sports has rejected an appeal filed by Spanish giant Atletico Madrid against a transfer ban by the World Football governing body. The former Spanish champions and its fierce rivals Real Madrid were banned from signing new players until the summer of 2017 for breaches relating to the international transfer and registration of players under the age of 18. However, CAS reduced Real Madrid's ban to 1 window, but it has now rejected Atletico Madrid's appeal. The new ruling means that Atletico cannot sign players until January 2018. Saturday's Champions League final between Real Madrid and Juventus will take place amid tight security following last week's fatal terror attack in Manchester. The suicide attack at Manchester Arena, which left 22 people dead and scores injured, means vigilance will be heightened, but unprecedented security measures were already in place for the game. Most noticeably, the retractable roof of the Principality Stadium will be closed, making it the first Champions League final to be played in indoor conditions. That's all we have on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.